Disney is expensive, it's busy, and the last thing you want to do is waste your time and your money on things that don't add value to your trip. In today's episode, we're sharing 10 things at Walt Disney World that are simply not worth your time or your money. These are the things that we see people overspending or wasting their valuable park time on. And our goal is to help you avoid these mistakes so that you can get focused on what really matters. Joining me on the show today is Jay, a Disney content creator. Jay, before we get too deep into the show, I want to make sure everybody knows where they can find you on social media because I know you from TikTok and Instagram,
Yes.
but anybody that's not familiar with your content and your awesome, if you're not watching on video, the Loungefly wall that Jay has is just it's incredible. So where can
Thank you.
people find you on the social channels?
So on TikTok, it's King J9, and on Instagram, I'm at king.j's corner.
Okay, and it's Jay spelled out, right?
Yes, Jay.
Okay. And I'll make sure I include links to all of his social channels in the description so that you can get in touch with Jay and follow his content. He's a lot of fun to follow. He talks Disney style, which is pretty rare for us males that are in the space.
Yes, very rare.
And like, I feel like I don't know that I follow anybody else that ever does like fit checks or anything like that for us guys in the space. So I appreciate You'll enjoy his content. He just got back from a big trip at Walt Disney World. And I think you stayed at the Contemporary, which is where I just stayed too, right?
Yes, good. The Contemporary and Boardwalk.
Okay, so before we get too deep into our topic, I've got to touch on this. I was a Contemporary hater until I went down recently. Okay. What is your view on the Contemporary, and then what was your review of Boardwalk? Just a brief review.
So the Contemporary, that was actually my first deluxe resort. So stepping into like deluxe itself, it was good. It didn't feel over themed. And with it being a monorail stop, it wasn't that crowded. To me, it wasn't. Everything else is perfect. The food quality, I feel like, was top tier to coming from Pop Century over to deluxe, well, Contemporary. And it was pretty good. The Boardwalk, I didn't like it. Not gonna lie, I didn't like it. It was too. The vibes just felt really old. Like it gave me 60s, 50 vibes. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I feel like Grand Floridian and Boardwalk both tend to give me like a little bit of that old money vibe.
Yeah.
Like the staying at grandma's house a little bit.
Exactly.
It's like a little stuffy and like the furniture that you're not supposed to sit on kind of thing. But you know, the benefit of the Boardwalk is you've got the food there, which and the actual boardwalk, which that foot-long cheese stick will get me every time.
It was good. I had it. It was good.
Yeah. So like, where did you eat when you were at the Contemporary? Did you get Steakhouse 71, Chef Mickey's, any of those?
Steakhouse 71 is always my go-to. Even if like I'm just at the Magic Kingdom, I go over there and eat. And then we had the Contempo Caf?
Contempo Cafe, yep. The quick
we
service.
Had that. Now that was good. Like for it to be resort food, that was pretty good. And it was quick. So
yeah. The quick service is always great. Steakhouse 71. We talked about it on last week's show with AJ from Disney Food Blog. That burger there is just it's phenomenal. It's where I try to go like right before my flight home. On my checkout day, like I'll walk over there before I go to the airport, basically, because
it's a must-have to me.
Yeah, it is, and the bar is so easy to get into. You don't need a dining reservation, so that's a lot of fun. Let's talk a little bit about anytime we have content creators on, I always like to talk briefly about the origin story. Where did you get started with Disney content, and how has that kind of evolved? Because I know you predominantly post on TikTok.
Yep.
But did you start out posting Disney content, or is that just how you found your niche?
So it's crazy. The way I actually started posting like Disney content, 'cause I wasn't posting that at first. I was just posting random videos, just trying to be funny. But when me and my family took a little vacation to Disney right after I got the military, I started having these bad anxiety attacks and everything. So of course we go to Disney, and and I fall in love with Disney. Like I just fall in love with it. So I go back and I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying myself. I want to like record my trips. So after that, I just started recording, and I've been doing content now for 4 or 5 years. And it's crazy because I was just looking at my content yesterday, seeing how I evolved over the years and how the quality has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding my comfort zone in this community as a black male, because it's not a lot of us.
Sure.
It's not.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
it's not a lot of us. So it's just being a male in this community is very rare, but being a black male is even more rarer. So it's just
100%.
yeah. So it's a fun experience. I'm loving going through this, embracing everything like the Loungefly bags. All of it is great. I'm loving
You basically you buy the stuff that I don't buy. like, I buy everything else, but you get the lounge flies and the popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
And my only problem is that my wife would murder me if I came home with all of them. That's like, it's not that I don't like them or I wouldn't spend the money on them. It's just that there's like, my wife's more of a minimalist, and if you know her in Park Adventures Apparel, like that comes through in everything that she does. But number one, thank you for your service also.
Thank you for support.
That's incredible. But you know, what's funny when you mention the stuff about TikTok is that story sounds so familiar to me, because I've looked at like all my old videos recently too, and you start to really realize when people say that you need more reps. Like, for anybody that's listening that's interested in creating content of any kind, you'll hear a lot of people say, you know, like your first 100 videos are going to suck, and and you just need to make videos even if they suck. Just get a little bit better on each one and all that stuff. And you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. But then when you really look back, like, you get way more comfortable the more you just put your crap out there, and you just talk to people, and like you let videos flop, and you know, all that stuff. Like, we've had the podcast, especially, like I've looked back on episodes where I cringe at some of the interviews that we've done and stuff like that, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. But when you realize, like, after doing it for a year, 2 years, and you get those reps in, everything improves, and it becomes, I feel like you enjoy it more and you care what people think a lot less, right?
Yeah.
And for you, I think I could tell by what you said, there has to be a level of comfort in your own skin.
It does.
To be able to, like, you, Chip and I understand this because, you know, we're dads and former college football players. Like, we get made fun of by our crowd all the time. And I'm sure you get the same kind of stuff about having the bags and, you know, like being that guy and putting yourself out there. It's tough.
Yeah. It's I think it's hard for everybody, just allowing somebody into your space itself. Like, you open yourself to judgment a lot, and
100%.
you just have to be comfortable. Like, you know who you are. Don't let people from the outside looking in judge you. So
yeah. And I think we were talking a little bit before the show. You are 3 hours from Walt Disney World.
Yep.
How tempting is it for you to just like wake up in the morning and be like, all right, here we go. I'm going to get a spring roll. I'll be back in 6 hours.
Only thing stopping me from doing that is I don't have an annual pass. That's the only thing stopping me. If I had an annual pass, I would be there every weekend with no hesitation. No hesitation.
The annual pass is dangerous. I've found myself, well, I mean, I just did it. I went down for 24 hours, and like, I'll see those flights from Chicago that are like $70 each way, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm in there. Like, and I really want to do one of those trips where you go down at like 5 a.m. and you come back that night.
Yeah, that night, yeah.
But then you got to miss like a nighttime show, and that like hurts my soul. So, you know, that's what's tough for me. But Jay, we appreciate you coming on. We love your content. Make sure you follow Jay and connect with him. In the description, we'll have all of his social links. But let's jump into the topic this week. We've got 10 things that we're going to talk about. Jay and I are each going to go back and forth and share ours of things that you shouldn't waste your time or your money on your Disney World vacation. So jumping right into it, Jay, what is one thing that you think is at the top of the list of things that they shouldn't waste their time or their money on?
So you might hate me because you just said nighttime shows, but
Oh no.
yeah. So one thing I would never waste my time on is watching Happily Ever After. I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
sorry.
Jay.
I'm
All right,
sorry.
we're ending the episode.
I'm sorry. But to me, it's not all that. I can go
Oh,
without it. I genuinely can. Now,
the
Fantasmic, I can watch that, but Happily Ever After, I can't deal with the crowds. I can't deal with the standing. I can't do it. It literally took me an hour to get out of that crowd once the fireworks was over with. So I can't. I can't.
you know what? Like, and I will twist that into like if you are going to Disney, like maybe for the second time, like where you've seen it once. I feel like you've got to see it one time.
Yeah,
But
at least
like,
once.
yeah, but if you're going for like the second time, it is a really good opportunity for you to check out some rides
Hmm.
while the crowds are heavily packed. And we know with Starlight, the like that whole dynamic, you know, you're basically going to be standing there for a long time because you're either going to watch Starlight before or watch Starlight after. So you really have to know that there's going to be a lot of crowds and a lot of people
Hmm.
there for a long period of time, which means you're going to get more rides done if you decide to skip those. So I can get behind that. I can agree with you if we're talking about Harmonious or like Symphony of Us, any of
Yeah,
the Epcot nighttime shows,
yeah,
I'm all for skipping. Like I have
yeah.
no time for those, and I'm not skipping Fantasmic either. But Happily Ever After is like, oh, that's tough. And to start it off with the first one, that's tough. So I'm gonna give my first one would be, and so this will be number 2 overall, would be Chef Mickey's. I think Chef Mickey's is very expensive. It's nostalgic. So you see a lot of people that um, went to Disney as a kid and they
Hmm.
haven't been in a really long time. They love to recommend Chef Mickey's to anybody that will listen. But in reality, it's like, I don't even think it's a top 3. It's definitely not top 3 character meal at Disney. It's not even a top 3 character meal that includes Mickey. I think the top 2 would be Topolino's, and probably number 2, I'd put Garden Grill in front of,
Okay.
at least in terms of Mickey. Actually,
Okay.
excuse me, Tusker House would be number 2. Garden Grill would be number 3. If you're talking about Mickey specific, but Topolino's is like
It's top tier.
it's like a huge gap between
Yeah,
Topolino's and the next character meal. I don't even
yeah.
think anything else comes close, right?
Not even the character, just the food quality.
Yes.
It's a huge difference in all of it. The food there is great,
The
especially for the price
state,
that you're paying.
yeah, and it's like it's not that much more expensive than Chef Mickey's. And the steak and eggs that we had there, and the stuff that they do for the kids. I think have you gone to Topolino's with, I think it was your niece or nephew that went with you, right?
No, we actually didn't go. Did we? I don't think we went. I don't think we went this time, but I have been multiple times before.
Yeah. The one thing I think is really cool for families with kids is that they've got like a paint your plate with the waffles,
Yep,
which
yep.
like it keeps the kids entertained. It's
Hmm.
cute, and the meal is like Jay said, it's so good
Yeah.
that there's no reason to go to Chef Mickey's anymore.
Mm.
Is from my perspective. Like, but I get it. You know, scratches the nostalgia itch for some people. Um, but to me, it's not even close anymore. So Chef Mickey's would be my top one, and that's our number 2. Jay, going into number 3, what do you got for us?
Mickey not so scary.
Oh gosh, Jay, you're going against everything we talk about on the show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
It's okay. It's
sorry.
okay. So why do you think that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is not worth the money?
I think I only went once. So the time I did go out, it probably was a bad time because this was after the hurricane actually came through Florida. So
Okay.
a lot of people were switching their dates later on down the road. And when I was there, it felt like a regular part time. It was
Sure.
packed full of people. Um, Now only thing I can say, the parade was okay. that was the okay thing about it. But paying all that money just for a parade, I can't see myself doing it. Like, it wasn't that many characters out there. Like I said, overly packed. The food wasn't that good. It just didn't seem $200 worth of my
Sure.
money. So
And you know, we talk about that a lot on the show. We're gonna do a prep episode in the next couple weeks
okay.
about the Halloween party. The Booty Parade is like the top tier thing there. The fireworks to me aren't that great either. Like the specialty, I would rather watch Happily Ever After. Jay doesn't want to watch any of them. So, but
Yeah.
but they're you know, Jay has a really good point. Like if you go into it, managing your expectations for those parties is really really important because number one, like the character lines are insane. We waited over an hour one year to meet Prince Eric and Ariel, and it was part of it was because like we were just once we were in line, we weren't going to get out after we had waited that long, and they kept taking breaks because it was so hot and humid that the characters needed time off, and it ended up taking forever. We've seen Jack and Sally; they can have 4-hour waits at different points in time.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The food guide just came out today, the day that we're recording. And, the food for first timers is not something that you really care that much about.
Nope.
And then to Jay's point, it's still usually really crowded. And that's the number one tip that we typically tell people on this show every year for these different parties is the wait times are not usually significantly lower during those parties. The wait times are lower during the day of the party because the people that are paying $200 for a party ticket are not also usually going into the parks in the morning. They're just coming in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think the best way too, if you decide you're going to go to the Halloween party, the best way to get the value for your money is to go all in. You've got to do the group Halloween costumes, and you've got to really plan it out and enjoy it and lower your expectations and that kind of thing. But so Jay, I can see the opinion on that one for sure. I think there's definitely people that are out there that would agree with you. My number 2, so this will be number 4 overall, is going to be after hours events at Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Jay, have you done either of these?
I haven't, but I'm with you on that. I'm not doing
it. we did one like a podcast after hours at Hollywood Studios once with some of our guests that had been on the show at that time. And Epcot is kind of in the same bubble. And I've argued with people online about this. Like I've had people in my DMs and in my comments that want to argue that Hollywood Studios after hours is like the greatest thing ever. And to me, it's absurd. Like, and the reason is you get now at least Rock and Roller Coaster's back open. So you get Slinky Dog Dash, Rock and Roller Coaster, Rise, and Tower of Terror, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. There are a few extra characters that come out, but not that many. And in reality, the dining there sucks. So you don't have a whole lot of great stuff to eat, and there's just not that much to do. If you catch a late Fantasmic show, it like eats into your after hours time. And then the problem for Epcot is even worse. It's better now that Test Track's open, but you've got Test Track, Soarin', Remy's, and Frozen, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So you've got 5 rides, and then none of the food booths are open. So for the most part, I think occasionally they'll have 1 or 2 that are open, but like every country doesn't have their normal food booths open. So the dining options there are not great.
That's not enough for what you're paying either. So it's just like
exactly. So and I'll include a link to the YouTube video I've done with the after hours vlog at Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom's totally the opposite. I'd pay for that every day of the week because there's just so much to do there.
It is.
It's a lot of fun. But Hollywood Studios and Epcot, man, save your money and get, deluxe extended evening hours or something like that at one of those parks is my opinion. So Jay, let's see what you got for number 3. So this will be number 5 overall.
Epcot. Epcot to me, if it's not during a festival, it's a waste of time.
He's coming in. Jay's coming in with the hot takes.
It's a waste of time because honestly, you don't have that many rides, and you're just really walking around eating and drinking. But I feel like it's more fun during the festivals because you have more stuff that you can actually eat and drink.
The crowd data agrees with you. We know that like Epcot, when there's not a festival, is basically a dead park.
It is.
So I don't, you know, the more I think about it, the more I don't hate that opinion.
Like you get more money out of your trip if you just get a park hopper and then go to Epcot later on that day or that night or whatever and just do it that way instead of buying an Epcot ticket and not even being there the whole day because you pretty much did everything before lunch, really, honestly.
So your opinion would be that Epcot would be a half day park during non-park. So you wouldn't skip it totally. You just think it's a half day park during non-festival periods. Yeah. I think that's fair. You know, well, the one thing that gets me about Epcot, because Epcot becomes a park that a lot of first time families with kids want to skip, is that if you want princesses, like if you have a daughter that wants to meet princess characters, Epcot's the spot.
It is.
Epcot's the spot. And so like you can make a half day of it, like Jay said, and then spend, you know, the other half of the day at Animal Kingdom, and which is the best park at Walt Disney World. and you can hang out and get more of your vacation that way. So I think that's a good point. So Jay, overall, one thing that would be worth it to you, would you agree? Do you think park hopper's worth it?
For a first timer, I would say yes. And the only reason that is because it's impossible. Well,
Let me argue. I would argue that unless your trip is less than 4 days, so if you've got only 3 park days, 3 park days, it's worth it so that you can touch every park. But I think for first timers, especially if you've got 4 full days, doing no park hopper is a better decision for your time and your money.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
because
doing it that way.
Yeah, because you end up spending too much time going between parks. And if you've never been before, you don't know what you're doing, and you end up wasting more time, and you're obviously spending more money to have park hoppers. So,
it's impossible to see all of Disney in one trip. It's impossible. I've tried it. You can't do it.
I mean, I feel like my kids have been a lot, and there's still stuff that they've never done.
Yeah,
like big things that they've never done. So, I agree with that totally. This one for me hits home just because I'm a travel planner and I do this stuff for a living, is the over planning every minute of your vacation with apps and spreadsheets is by far to me the biggest waste of time and money you can have.
It is.
Jay, I'll spend time on these Facebook groups and I'll see people post, like just recently I saw somebody post that they had it broken down by like every 10-minute increment. And I'm like, there's just no way. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? And I feel like you've got to have some time to relax and get in the flow and, go to the bathroom. Like, it's going to throw off your whole schedule when you're sitting in the Rapunzel tangled bathroom for 10 minutes. Right? Go ahead.
Now, what I will say, I was that planner. When I first went to Disney, I was the planner that had to have everything down like to the T. But the more I go, it's just like, why am I planning all this stuff when I know I'm not going to do it?
and I think the problem then becomes that, like, if you're not flexible, then you can't maximize your day. Part of being able to maximize your experience is knowing that, like, if you see Pirates at a 20-minute wait, you just go over and do it. Yeah. Or you randomly see Haunted Mansion says 13 minutes that it's meaning it's a walk on. You walk over there and you just walk on.
Yeah.
And that happened to me the other last week or whatever. When I was down there, I saw Tron was a 25-minute wait. I had no plans to do Tron, but I was like, I'm not skipping Tron when it's only 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So you've got to have that flexibility in your day. And like, who knows if you're going to need to spend time back at the resort with your kids, or, you're going to have a little bit of a meltdown coming out of Toy Story Mania in the shop. It could be anything. So I think the biggest thing, Jay, is that from my perspective, it stresses people out more.
It does.
Like,
it does.
You're always thinking about, where do I need to go next, instead of enjoying the moment that you're in. Right. Yeah. So when you plan now, do you just buy your lightning lanes and then book 1 or 2 dining reservations and go for it?
So honestly, what I do, of course, I plan my outfits first. That's the first thing I ever do is plan my outfits. That's the first thing I do. But after that, it's just really my my dining reservations. Everything else, I just wing it. I just
Yeah,
go with the flow. Like I'm not going to stress myself out on a trip that's meant for me to have fun. I'm not doing it.
sure,
I'm just not.
sure. And I like I've gone down. I would say most of the time when I'm not with my kids, I don't make dining reservations at all
Mm,
until like the day of or the day before because I just don't know what I'm going to do. I might meet up with friends. I might, do things a little differently. And that's not what most people that are watching are planning the way they're planning their Disney trip.
yeah,
So like when I go with my family, dining and any activities like Bibbidi Boppity Boutique or
mm,
things like that are the priority. And then we just kind of plan our days around those and see how things are going to go. And, with multi-pass, you've got to plan that stuff out too. But there's definitely no need for planning things down in like 15-minute increments, like some of the stuff you see on Facebook. That's
yeah.
that's just crazy. So what would be your next one, Jay? How can people save some time or money at Disney?
A big money saver for me would be any resort with a view. I wouldn't pay for any resort that has a view unless it's on the monorail line. Like if you're on the monorail loop, and you want to see like the fireworks while you're in the resort, that's yes. But anything else, it's a waste of money because one, are you really in your room, you know, during that time that the fireworks are going on? Like, what are you honestly doing? So that you can save a lot of money just by getting a regular room and going into the park to see the fireworks. That's
Jay,
just
like that's such a great point because I last week I stayed at the Contemporary theme park view. So it's the
mhm,
first time I've ever stayed there. It's I would argue it's the best view on property. There's not a better view
yeah,
anywhere at Disney. And to your point, I watched Happily Ever After from 10 feet away from the castle. So, and I considered because we watched the first Starlight, and a buddy of mine looked at me. He's like, "Are you gonna go back to your room and watch the fireworks?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna stand right here and watch them. I'm 10 feet away.
yeah,
So like, why would I go back there?"
exactly,
And
exactly.
that's the great point is, and we our family's done the Savannah View at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Hmm.
And the one thing that I tell people about these view type rooms is they're only good, in my opinion, unless your like budget is infinity, right? Then we're talking about a different vacation.
Yeah,
But if you're working on a budget like the average family planning a Disney vacation, you got to do a split stay. So you
yeah,
do like 2 nights in one of these amazing view rooms or Savannah View,
mm,
and then you make sure that you're spending time at your resort for those 2 nights. Then you go somewhere else and
hmm,
and spend the rest of your time. Because otherwise, to Jay's point, it's just a waste. And I,
it's a
I
waste.
if I wouldn't have got, I think I had like 60% off or something on that theme park view
That's
room
good.
at Contemporary. Yeah, it was some ridiculous deal that I had. Um, and if I wouldn't have gotten that, like if it wouldn't have been that affordable, I wouldn't have done it. I did it because I wanted the experience. But I think for the most part, like to Jay's point, it's just a waste of
Yeah,
money to stay in those kinds of rooms. So I think that's a great option. The next one for me is going to be spending all of your vacation time at table service restaurants. This is the one that like it really gets under my skin. Like when I'll see people going to Disney for the first time and they've got like 4 days in the parks and 1 day at the resort. And so that's like the average Disney vacation is
yeah,
five days at Disney, 2 travel days, whatever. When they've got like they want to book 2 sit-down restaurants every single day. I'm like, you're gonna spend 3 to 4 hours of every park day sitting in a restaurant. What
yeah,
are we doing here?
yeah.
And that's not a knock on people that love to eat and love to dine at Disney because I think that's great. But I think one is the cap. Would you agree with that?
One is the cap because when I first was going to Disney, I booked breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would never do it again. I'm just booking lunch and that's it. It's too much. Like you said, you're spending what 3 4 hours wasting your time eating. Yeah, you're. No, it's impossible.
I think the problem is that people go for the first time and they hear about the 60-day dining reservations and they get scared that if they don't book every meal, they're not going to have anywhere to eat. Like they don't understand that quick service meals exist, or that there's all these different snack places that you can go, or that you can mobile order all this stuff, and they just get scared, and so they're like, oh well, if I don't book 60 days in advance, I've got to book all my meals.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to have anywhere to eat food with my kids. Like, chill. It's okay. We're gonna get you one a day, and sometimes even less.
Yeah.
And you can order groceries to your resort for the other meals, or there's different things that you can do. You don't need to book table service every meal.
Don't.
Jay, what's your next one?
Waiting for Peter Pan.
Ooh, I think I agree with this. Peter Pan's Flight is that's a good ride to not waste your time on.
Yeah.
What would be the line for how long you would wait for Peter Pan's Flight?
The wait, I would say the most, honestly, 20-25 minutes.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm anything past that, I can't see myself. It's very nostalgic. Don't get me wrong, very nostalgic. But it's I've seen it so many times. I don't have to wait for that ride. It's the same thing over and over again. It can definitely use a huge upgrade.
I don't disagree there. I think in general, I have a personal rule, and I don't like share this with other people because to me, it depends on what you want to do with your vacation. But I won't wait more than 45 minutes for anything. That's my, and I say that after I tell you we waited over an hour for Ariel and Eric or whatever. Like, that was like the one time thing that will never happen again, I can assure you. But usually, like, if you've got multipass and you've got lightning lanes, or if you have a rope drop strategy and you're not doing those things, there's really no need for you to wait more than 45 minutes for a ride.
No.
Right?
No.
And so I think, to Jay's point, it's definitely the case with Peter Pan. I think that's one that I wouldn't wait much for either. But you really can kind of set a barometer and say, I'm not waiting for any of these. And if you avoid that noon to 3 in the afternoon period, you probably won't wait that long.
Yeah, you won't.
The next one that really grinds my gears that I think is really important for families goes back to dining. And it's booking dining at other resorts. Okay. And for us as veterans, like Jay and I know our way around, so it's a little easier. Jay, you've probably got a car. Chip, when he's here, he's got a car. I usually will just pay for an Uber or at least know the different transportation options. But most people, if you're booking Topolino's, for example, and you're staying at, let's say, Animal Kingdom Lodge, you don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And getting there in and of itself, if you're not going to spend the money for an Uber, will take like an hour and a half or an hour minimum of your day. And so like the another good one is getting storybook dining at Artist Point. Going to Chef Mickey's when you're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge is a tough one.
Yeah.
And it's because you've got to get connecting buses, or you have to go to a theme park first to use all the Disney free transportation. And to me, like, it's just Hoop-de-Doo Reviews, another really popular one. It's worth it. And like, those are great experiences, but either pay for the Uber. Yeah. Pay for the Uber or do it a different way, because you're going to waste so much time on the buses.
Yep.
And that just stinks. That just stinks.
And it does. Like, again, when I was going for the first time, I've done that. And I was like, man, I have to be here at we'll say 12 o'clock. And I'm leaving the park at about 10:30 to make sure I'm there at 12 o'clock. So I don't want to miss a reservation. So it's just a lot of time you're wasting.
And it's even worse when you're doing the double buses, right? Yeah. So if you're at Coronado, you're going down and waiting for a bus. You're hoping that you get one quickly, which is a problem in and of itself. Then you've got to get that bus to, a Skyliner park. So you got to go to Hollywood Studios. Then you got to get on the Skyliner and take it all the way to Riviera. And that includes getting off of the Skyliner at Caribbean Beach and getting back on the Skyliner. So like, it's a long trip, and people don't realize, number one, a lot of them don't even know how to get there based on what I just explained. But number two, like the time is just ridiculous. Like you're
It
gonna
is.
waste. It's not
It
worth
is.
it at that point. Even as much as we love those. So, Jay, I've lost track of how many we've given here,
Me
but
too.
I'm pretty sure this will be your number 9. So let's
Okay.
hear your last one.
This is just me personally. I wouldn't waste my time on getting on water rides. I don't care. I don't. I have been on Tiana. I didn't even get on when it was Splash Mountain. I I can't see myself getting wet in that kind of water. I just can't. Knowing everything about it and all the like stuff that's in it, I would rather skip it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
And you've got to keep your outfit clean, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
which is fair,
Yeah.
because I'm that way too. I'm also a sneaker guy, so
Yeah.
and like there is something about not wanting to do like Cali River Rapids when I go to Animal Kingdom. And that's one thing that I love about going to Universal. Are you a Universal guy? Like, have you done Universal?
I've been, but not as much as Disney. But I've been quite a bit.
So the cool thing about going to Universal is they've got the dryers. Like you come off of Jurassic Park and you can hop in a dryer and you don't feel like you're going to be sopping wet and sticky and humid all day, which I think is helpful. I wish Disney had those things. There's 2 things that I wish Disney had that Universal, actually 3 things I wish Disney had that Universal has: the dryers, the lockers with the visual check that Epic Universe has, and the Coke Freestyle machines that Universal has. Those are
they do have the Coke free, but it's in what, the Caribbean resort?
So it's the only ones that I'm aware of is Caribbean Beach.
Yeah.
But like when you go to Epic Universe, they're all over the parks. So you don't even have to, you can have a refillable mug and you don't even have to like talk to anybody to refill it, which is pretty awesome. Like I don't want to wait in line and ask somebody for a refill or whatever. You can just walk up and get it yourself, which I think is great. My number 10 is going to be one that I know it's going to irritate some people that listen to this show because they talk to me all the time about doing this, and it's the Fantasmic dining package at Hollywood Studios. Lauren from Main Street Tourist, I feel like her and Athena from Kingdoms & Co., they do this every single trip that they go on. And every single time I text them and I'm like, what the F are you doing? Why are you doing the Fantasmic dining package? Number one, you don't get you do get good seats, but like anybody can get good seats at Fantasmic. It's not that hard. And number two, the dining at Hollywood Studios stinks. So like, why would you like want to force yourself to eat, your meal there? I don't know. I'm just like, I'm so dining at Hollywood Studios gives me the ick.
So
I don't want to eat there at all.
This is why I disagree.
Oh my gosh, Jay. No. Okay, so you would buy the dining package for Fantasmic?
I always do.
Jay, come on.
But hear me out. This is why. Because I honestly, like you said, anybody can get good seats. So I feel like you have to wait for those good seats. So I hate waiting, an hour plus just sitting there when I can just, pay a little extra money. I can come up 10 minutes early. Here's my ticket. And I have a front row seat like right there. So it's just.
Jay, have you ever waited for seats like for Fantasmic, or have you always done the dining package?
Yeah.
So there's a hack to get good seats for Fantasmic.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put you onto one here. So when they fill the stadium for Fantasmic, they fill it by section, not by row. So if you're at the top of one section or you're in a bad spot of one section, you just let people pass you until they open the next section. And then you get to sit at the front or the middle, like whatever your preference is. Because some people for Fantasmic, they don't like to be in the front because it smells like gasoline and
then you might get wet.
You might get wet. Yeah, which Jay doesn't want on his shoes. Yeah. I don't either. So going back to that point, you don't want to get wet. So usually you want to be like 10 or 15 rows up. And so you'll see like at the top of it's like built like a stadium. If you haven't seen this before, maybe I'll do a separate video on it. It's built like a stadium and you come in and you're at the top of the stadium and they start letting people go down each section, but they will not fill they will not open a new section until they filled the previous section. So it goes. It's a lot easier that way to like maneuver a good spot without waiting, a full hour. But to Jay's point, if you don't want to have to wait like much time at all, you can get the Fantasmic dining package, which I know that's why Lauren loves to do it. Whatever. But it bothers me because I don't want to spend any time eating in Hollywood studios unless I absolutely have to.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
I like being forced to eat at like, I know people love Brown Derby, but Mickey's Vine and Dine or 50s Prime Time. I just don't want to do it.
I love sci-fi, so that's where I'm going every time. I love sci-fi.
Sci-fi, that's fair. That's fair. One day, we'll have a beer in Hollywood studios and get a pretzel or something, but not or ABC commissary is kind of where I draw the line. But if I'm having to eat at Backlot Express, something has gone wrong. So that's going to wrap it up. Disney World is full of incredible experiences, but not everything is worth your time or your money. Avoiding these 10 traps will give you more space and time to enjoy the magic without overspending or burning out. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't miss your episodes every week of the podcast. You can listen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Again, you can check out Jay and all his content on TikTok, Instagram. I'll put the links for him in the show notes also. So make sure you connect with him. And as always, if you're ready for my help planning your next Walt Disney World vacation, feel free to reach out. The link to get a quote is going to be in the show notes. All my services are free. As always, we've also got a bunch of new videos on YouTube and articles on adventuresofatDisneydad.com to help you plan your next Disney vacation. So please check those out, and we will see you in the parks. Appreciate it, Jay.
Yeah, that was good.